Hi, I'm Captain Dan Cohen with Williamson County EMS for another episode of Rescue You with Dr. Tanya Glenn. And today we're here to talk with Dr. Glenn about substance abuse. And the question that we have for Dr. Glenn today is alcohol abuse common amongst first responders?
Yes.
Well, that's a simple answer.
Ooh.
And now we'll get on to next week's episode. No, but seriously, tell us what you can about that subject.
So I think that alcohol abuse in first responders, many first responders bring it from their previous histories. A lot of first responders have significant trauma from childhood and have started to already use alcohol to cope, and they bring that to the profession. Some first responders come to the profession without a substance abuse problem, and it's that first really rocky shift where you go home and you can't quite shake it off, and so maybe you pop a beer, or you pour a little wine, or and then it turns into every rough shift, and then it turns into every shift, and then it turns into a coping mechanism to fall asleep, to numb out, to avoid, to escape. This is also gas on the fire. When you take lack of sleep and you smash it together with alcohol abuse, what happens is you drive yourself to depression, your coping capacities are limited, you sleep poorly, obviously you're probably not working out at all or as much as you used to. And so what happens is it really just kind of exacerbates everything. So our style at the practice, and I've worked with some people who've had some really, really tough substance abuse issues going on. Some people will go inpatient. That's a really scary concept. If necessary, we can and do that. Most of our first responders, though, what we ask them to do is just start to taper. And when you're motivated, there's nothing that can stop you. So when you start to realize that alcohol has taken this pivotal sort of role in your life, and it's ruining your health and really damaging you, when you start by drinking a certain amount, what we're going to ask you to do is just start to taper back. And we set goals each week. And the longer you taper, the easier it gets to continue to taper. And honestly, I've worked with police officers who were drinking copious amounts of alcohol at night, who completely tapered down to zero within about a 6-week period. Now, they were motivated. One told me that the reason she did it is because I didn't take her power away by putting her in a facility, which I knew that would never work, and I knew she would never trust me again. So there's all kinds of options. There's all kinds of ways to get control of this. Some people can go back to drinking socially, but some people, given maybe some genetics and some history, it may be that you never drink again. But what everybody starts to realize when you go from a place of alcohol abuse to either moderation or none is how much better you feel, how much clearer you are on calls, and how much better your shifts are because you just feel so much better. This is a worthwhile endeavor to take on.
How common is it? Is there a number that's out there when we think about alcoholism or substance abuse in general? I'm assuming it's maybe higher than the general public.
The last number I heard was 42% of like an alcoholism rate of 42% in public safety, but I don't really trust the numbers because most public safety people aren't going to answer those questions. And so the numbers, they move, they're fuzzy. Same thing with PTSD rates. They're because, obviously every single first responder is very invested in keeping their job and not ending up in trouble. Right. And so, but even if 42% is somewhat of a ballpark and somewhat close, that's really high.
Right, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And there's no way to know. We're just taking a guess and extrapolating the data.
Absolutely.
We have no way to really know. Okay. Thank you, and thank everybody for watching Rescue You.
If you have any questions you want to ask us on Rescue You, go ahead and scan this QR code and send them to us. Please understand, in no way is this a counseling session or any sort of clinical advice. If any of the content has triggered you, or if you feel like you need help immediately, please reach out to your local mental health professionals or to any of your support teams that you have in your area. If you're in a crisis, here are some national resources for you to contact immediately.